Yo, 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 this is Mr. O. What's up? Mr. O here, and today we're going to learn how to write linear equation involvement of parallel lines and perpendicular lines. Okay, parallel lines have the same slope. Okay, they go the same direction, so that's why they have the same path. That's why they have the same slope. While perpendicular lines they intersect, but not all intersecting lines are perpendicular. For geometry, perpendicular lines have they make 90-degree angle in the intersection, but in algebra, not only that, they have a negative reciprocal of slope. Okay, so when you say negative reciprocal, for example, we have 4/3. The negative reciprocal of 4/3 is -3/4. We will practice on that one as we try to write the equation. Okay, so before anything else, when we say writing an equation, we need the idea of point slope form. Point slope form is a formula or a method we use, one of the methods we use in order for us to write an equation. The formula for point slope form is y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times the quantity x minus x sub 1, wherein we know that the m is your slope and your x sub 1 and y sub 1 are the coordinates of a point. You know, in the point x sub 1, y sub 1. Okay, so on the point, the x sub 1, the x coordinate goes here and the y coordinate goes there. If you notice that the x here and the y here are just y and x, you don't have to do anything there. And they're both minus there. Okay, so remember that. So with parallel lines, they have the same slope. So for example, if I have y equals 3x minus 7, the slope that I'm going to use will be 3 because the slope here is positive 3. If I have a 2y is equal to 5x minus 7, I have to divide it by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2 in order for me to find the slope. So y is equal to 5 halves x minus 7 over 2. So the slope that I'm going to use here is 5 halves. Okay, so they need to have the same slope. Okay, while in perpendicular lines, they need to have a negative reciprocal. Negative reciprocal means to say, for example, the slope of the equation is let's say 2/3 x plus 1. So the slope here is 2/3, right? But for us to get the negative reciprocal of 2/3, the 3 goes up, the 2 goes down. So it becomes 3/2. But since this is positive 2/3, so I'm going to write here -3/2. So that's a slope I'm going to use. So if I have, let's say, y equals x minus 2, what is the slope here? The slope here is 1. So what's the negative reciprocal of positive 1? We know that 1 has a 1 underneath. So if you reciprocate it, it becomes 1/1, which is still 1, and then change the sign. So the slope here will be -1. Okay, so one more. If I have, let me delete everything here. Let's say the equation is y is equal to -7x minus 2. Remember that there's an invisible 1 right here. So the slope here is -7/1. But when we try to get the slope that we will use for perpendicular, we have to use the negative reciprocal of the slope. So in this case, this -7 goes down, the 1 goes up, so it becomes 1 over -7. But remember, we have to flip the sign because it's negative. So it will be negative times negative will be positive. So the answer is 1/7. Okay, so let's apply that one in writing an equation. Write an equation of a line that is parallel to y equals 7x minus 2 that passes through the point -5 and 3. Remember, it's parallel. If it's parallel, they need to have the same slope. What is the slope of this equation here? The slope here is m is equal to 7. Okay, so we're going to use 7 because it's parallel. Parallel, they need to have the same slope. And the point given here is -5, 3. We know that this is x sub 1. We know this is y sub 1. And applying the point slope form, y minus y sub 1, sorry, y minus y sub 1 is equal to mx minus x sub 1. Y minus y sub 1 here is 3 is equal to m is 7, x minus -5. And again, in algebra, we know two negatives, when you multiply them, becomes positive. So I put their plus sign. And then distribute the 7 will give us 7x plus 35. So for the y, add 3 on both sides. So therefore, y is equal to 7x plus 38. And that's the answer. Kaboom. Very easy, right? Write an equation of a line that is parallel again, so parallel, same slope, to 3x minus 6y equals 9. That pass through the point 4, negative 1. On this case, we have to find the slope-intercept form, or basically isolate the y here, in order for us to find the slope. So minus 3x here, minus 3x there. That will give us negative 6y is equal to negative 3x plus 9. Divide everything here by negative 6, negative 6, negative 6. Cross this out. Y is equal to, what's negative divided by negative? It's going to be positive. 3 over 6 is 1 half x minus 3 halves. On this case, our slope here is 1 half. But since it's parallel, we're going to copy that slope. So we're going to use m equals 1 half. And the point 41, this is our x1, this is y1. So therefore, y minus y sub 1 is equal to mx minus x sub 1. Y minus y sub 1 here is negative 1 is equal to 1 half x minus 4. Negative times negative will give us a positive here. So this will become y plus 1. 1 half times x is 1 half x. 1 half times negative 4 is negative 2. Minus 1 here. That will give us y is equal to 1 half x minus 3. And that is our slope-intercept form that is parallel to 3x minus 6y that passed through the point 4, negative 1. Kaboom. This time, write an equation of a line that is perpendicular. Again, if it's perpendicular, we're going to find the negative reciprocal of the given equation here, which is y equals 7x minus 2. That passed through the point negative 5, 3. If you notice, this is exactly the same equation as the first example, except that it's perpendicular. So again, here, the slope that we know here is 7, but we're not going to use 7. That's not what we need. What we need is a negative reciprocal of 7, which here, remember, there's an invisible 1 here, so it will become 1 over 7. Although since this is positive, so we make it negative. This is the slope that we're going to use. And the point x1, y1, for the point slope form, y minus y sub 1 is equal to mx minus x sub 1. Our y1 here is 3, negative 1 over 7, x minus negative 5. Again, two negatives will turn to be positive, so this will be positive here. And there are multiple ways of doing this one. I know some kids, they try to avoid the fraction, and this is how you're going to avoid the fraction for the process of the work. But there are times that you couldn't, there's no way that you can avoid it. It will still be part of it, like this one here. I'm going to show you how to deal with that one, okay? So you can distribute the negative 1 over 7 right to the right. That's what commonly we do. But I'm going to show you a different way. I'm going to multiply the negative 1 to the right, and I'm going to multiply the 7 to the left, okay? Just to show it to you to avoid fraction. You can distribute the negative 1 over 7 to the x plus 5. That's okay. But I'm going to show you a different way here. So 7 times y is 7y. 7 times negative is negative 21. The negative 1, the numerator goes to the right. So you multiply it. Negative 1 times x is negative 1x. Negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. In this case, you don't see any more fraction, right? So the only thing that you have to do here is to find the slope-intercept form or solve for the y by adding 21 on both sides. This cross out. This gives you 7y is equal to negative 1x plus 16. If you notice, I still do not have any fraction here. The next thing to do to isolate the y here is divide by 7, divide by 7, divide by 7. This cross out. Y now is by itself. Negative 1 over 7 is negative 1 over 7x. 16 over 7, you can't reduce it anymore. That's the answer. And so therefore, this is your equation. So in this case, our slope here is negative 1 over 7, which that's what we expect. And 16 over 7 is our y-intercept. So therefore, this is our equation for this problem that is perpendicular to 7x minus 2 and pass through negative 5, 3. So again, one more time, something new to you. I multiply the negative 1 to the right here. and I multiplied the bottom one, denominator to the left there. Why did I do that one? To avoid fraction. If I distribute -1/7 to the right, straightforward, I should still get the same answer. But I have to deal with fraction on my process. Okay, there you go. Let's keep going here. So now write an equation that is the line that is not per parallel. Let's use perpendicular here. Perpendicular to 3x minus 5y equals 1 and pass through the point 4, -1. Again, we need to isolate the y here in order for us to find the slope. So minus 3x on both sides. This will give us -5y equals -3x plus 1. Divide everything by -5, -5, -5. And we need the slope y is equal to 3. Negative divided by negative is positive 3/5. X minus 1/5. And the slope here is 3/5. So we're going to use a slope which is -5/3. Remember, it's perpendicular here. So we need to find the negative reciprocal. The 5 goes up, the 3 goes down, and flip the sign. So this is a slope we're going to use. And this is our x sub 1, this is our y sub 1. Putting it in a point slope form, y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. So y minus y sub 1 here, it's -1 is equal to -5/3 x minus 4. Okay, so here we're going to simplify negative times negative will be positive here. Again, some of you can distribute this one here. We'll do it that way. I know most of the middle school teacher, they will encourage you to distribute. Let's try it that way, and I'll show you both ways and see if we're gonna get the same answer. Okay, so -5/3 times x is -5/3 x. -5/3 times -4 will be positive 20/3. Okay, and then you will subtract 1 here, subtract 1 here. This will cross out. So y is equal to -5/3 x. Now, how do we simplify 20/3 minus 1? Okay, that's a challenge there. Again, remember guys, you need to have the same denominator in dealing with fractions. So the 1 here will be now -3/3 because 3 divided by 3 is 1. So now they have the same denominator. 20 minus 3 is 17. So positive 17/3 is the answer. And that's the equation. If you would like me to show you my way here, the other way, the one I showed in the previous example, here's how you're gonna do it. So when we're here ready, I would y plus 1 is equal to -5/3, x minus 4. I will multiply the -5 to the right and the 3 to the left. This will give me 3y plus 3 is equal to -5x plus 20. I'm going to subtract 3 here, combining the like terms. I'll get 3y is equal to -5x plus 17. Now I divide it by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3, cross it out. And your answer now will be y is equal to -5/3 x plus 7/3, which is perfectly the same as that one. So either way, you should get the same answer. It's up to you which is better for you, where you're more comfortable. And that's it. So again, what we have learned today is how we write an equation of a line wherein it's parallel or perpendicular to a given equation that pass through a point. Again, when it's parallel, they need to have the same slope. Perpendicular line, they have a negative reciprocal for their slope. Okay. I hope you learned something. Kaboom.